This is a message for the attention of Candidate Lubna and anyone else who is sitting there having a right go at me. I don't take personal insults kindly, by the way. I don't give a hoot about my own ego. I give a hoot about England ridding itself from the extremists who are running riot left, right, and centre, and I'm calling out the extremists. Start on the good people, yeah? I'll name two people who so far I think are decent people, just for balance. Paul Thorpe, want to buy a watch, seems like a nice guy. I have met him twice. I don't know whether Paul knows this or remembers it, but I remember everything. Paul Thorpe was at Tommy Robinson's hearing in October in Woolwich of 2024, where he was put in jail for a Twitter, the film and everything. I quite like Paul. I don't have a problem with him. I don't like the way he runs his channel because he tends to sort of, oh crap, I've got James on my channel. What the hell is he going to say? I don't have any problem with him. If I met him, I'd say, hi, Paul, how are you? Because I don't think he's a fascist. To be a fascist, you have to have a hell of a lot of other stuff going on. I think that Richard Inman is actually okay. But there's a little bit of a doubt there because I was putting supportive comments on his channel today and he didn't respond. And I was actually saying, calm down. And then I posted something that I could post from overseas, or I'd just claim someone had hold of my channel or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like very difficult to establish. When you're in a free country, it's actually quite relieving, really. So they're the two good apples. Bad apples. Ricky Doolan Doodle. That's named by Bob. Because Bob called him Ricky Doodle. And that's the reason why Bob doesn't like me, because he knows I know the truth. Ricky Doolan, in my honest opinion, is involved in gold smuggling and money laundering and is going to be leading the worship at a Tommy rally. Like, are you completely insane or something? Now, it is not up for me to judge him. God will judge you, Ricky. It's a good washing machine, isn't it? I've got a good washing machine. Do you want to come and see it? You might find some gold in it. Right, so anyway. Even if he is innocent, which I say, if there was a public poll, is Ricky Doolan, I might actually put that. Do you think he was actually involved? And genuinely, because actually the other thing is, I'll say this for the legal record. Legally, Ricky Doolan is not a gold smuggler, because that was not enough to convict with. There was a lord who said that it should be investigated, which is why when I actually reached out to one of the other lunatics at the park and it's been the left have picked this story up now anyway. So the left will be saying, your event is being fronted by a gold smuggler. And that's not even my problem. The stupid person can't even play guitar. So he's a terrible, bad apple. Now, I don't know. Yes, he's also a groomer. Yeah, he's a groomer, not a sexual groomer. Yeah, I've got no evidence for that. They are using this young Bob. The other two utter clowns involved are Tenkoni and also this cigarette-smelling Jack, who seems, actually, I could talk about being fat. I've put on about 4Ks. I actually saw, when I saw Jack in the summer, I said, oh, Jack, you've lost weight. And I was just saying that to be pleasant. Because I've lived with with non-British English speakers, I tend to be, it's made me a bit more confident in my life. So these guys are absolute clowns. Next is Bob. You can't say Bob's a clown. Bob is not a clown. He's a very interesting mind, especially the justification he manages to find for his cultism. He knows he has to go to Maccabees to find evidence of praying to saints, for instance. You shouldn't pray to saints, Bob. No, especially St. James. But anyway, I wouldn't describe him as a clown, but he's a very dangerous man because look at the way he treats Dr. David Macrith. Because Dr. David Macrith is about the only person down at that park who I look into the eye, and if he says something to me, I start listening, because he's a genuine Christian. He's a little bit fire and brimstone for the modern age, which is why I try to liven him up with his nickname. It's not that I... By the way, his nickname's quite... there's a story there, because he's right. Doctor Who was a demonic show. Funnily enough, by our old friend, the BBC. Now, apparently, this young Bob says he likes that he likes Doctor Who. Well, if you like Doctor Who, you're getting your mind into the thinking that, you might go to space one day. I actually popped off to Mars last night, actually. That's a joke, by the way. Anyway, and in actual fact, it encourages kids to not focus on the truth, which was the greatest miracle that the world has ever seen. A man brutally dying on a cross and then 3 days rising again, yeah? Why did he rise again? Because he was God. When did he do his work? On Friday. He said, it's finished. And on Friday, the party began. And he only chose to reveal himself to those people who had faith. That's my understanding. I can do an accent at the moment. So, bad apples. I think we've ended up. Now, the fact that the sad thing with these people is that I agree with them on the other set of bad apples, like that drink of water that's the new Archbishop of Canterbury. I wish everyone would love each other. Do you know what I mean? And they've actually really upset me, but I wouldn't name them. I wouldn't be that unkind. They sit there, they said, oh, here, James, have a bit of bread. James, have some toast. And I was in a hell of a state. And yes, they did, help me. But all the while, there was just a barrier there. And my feeling was it was because of the amount of regulation which the governments have sort of put on these things. And, you can't just have people randomly take people to church now. They're a vulnerable adult. Well, I'm a vulnerable adult. Mind you, actually, that kid needs assessing for autism. So I actually said to a church pastor, because the thing is, I say it like it is. I said, look, you've got Bible in one hand and you've got Communist Manifesto in the other. He didn't like that. He also didn't like it when I threw back at him that he called my MP a fascist. Because, I disappeared up to Essex on election day to go and vote for Nige. And, because that caused family mayhem. Because my brother's a communist scumbag. But anyway, so I don't give a hoot about my own ego. I give a hoot about the fact that my blood relatives, Annabelle, Isabel, Rosie, are my blood relatives who are going to have to basically be the next generation of this mess, plus my autistic son. I care about them. And to see tools like Tenkoni wandering around, almost certainly paid for by gold money, almost certainly linked. Now, Tommy needs to make a decision. Oh, yeah, the anti-Semitism. Ricky Doolan is an anti-Semite. End of story. I trust my source. Well, my source is his videos. He's a tool. He doesn't know his theology. Oh, Exodus. He's in his little prosperity show, yeah? Actually, he sounds better at his professional spirit demon church, because it's not a church that preaches the gospel, by the way. It adds to the gospel. And there is no such thing as a prophet in the modern church, to the best of my understanding. He's a demon, he's an anti-Semite, and so that justifies the fact that Tusi's another one, I'll come to him in a second. But Doolan preaches a ninth crusade. Read about the Crusades. During the first crusade, Christian knights went through Jerusalem looking for Jews. It was a genocide. They were homicidal, genocidal maniacs. That is what happened, Bob, Tenkoni, Doolan. Sounds like some bad country and western band. So don't go to the Jewish community and start mentioning the Crusades. You utter, just the stupidity is just beyond me. And I tell you what, I don't care if lefties watch this. This guy's an idiot. And then he turns up, as you do, as a pro-Jewish protest with a Crusader flag. Oh, great. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is the mentality of this stupid idiot. I mean, the only worst thing to do would have been to turn up with the German flag from the 1940s. Although actually you can sort of like which one. And these are being seen at Tommy rallies. Now, of course, the established nice vicar is going round all the Tommy Robinson supporters and saying, would you like a biscuit? You know, like a biscuit, Ricky. Do you like that? I like a biscuit too. I took biscuits into India. What did you do? You take 50 Ks of gold. Now, of course, I was just taking biscuits. Do you know what I mean? So you guys are utter demons. So I am calling out the bad apples. Oh, and Toosey. Talk about... I mean, he does some good content. But the trouble is with Toosey, you've just got to watch the sort of... He takes about 2 hours to basically tell what you do in 2 minutes. I mean, I come and go from Toosey. It's a bit like sort of watching the BBC. You've just got to like take the bits that you need to know and then you leave the rest behind. I mean, he sat there. He doesn't know his US politics as well as me. I'd already gone to bed, put my last set of bets on. The video is private because, I mean, I'm sort of like, Trump's won, you know. And he's like going, is Trump winning? Is Trump winning? You know. Tool. No, actually, no. Toosey's not a tool. Toosey's not a tool. Actual coverage is not a tool. And then I'm worried about some of these so-called independent journalists. You know who you are. I mean, for heaven's sake, if you're constantly turning up at Tommy events, the leftists do not think you are neutral. I mean, I think that there's boggle chance of me being seen as neutral. You know, I'm about as neutral as a fox in the middle of a load of sheep. Do you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, the fox in the middle of the sheep here are Doolan, Tanconi, Bob, and Jack. They're the demons, and they are grooming young Bob. Any responsible adult with young Bob would say the following: Bob, go to school. Or actually, what's his name again? Thomas, whatever. That is abuse. It's abuse of a kid. You don't do that to a kid. You say, look, here are your options. Homeschooling, but not running around doing activism. I don't know what the full Charlie Kirk story is, but he's not Charlie Kirk. He doesn't have the skills for Charlie Kirk. I mean, can you imagine young Bob at the Oxford Union? Oh, go on, Oxford Union. Just invite young Bob. I fancy a bit of light entertainment in the middle of winter. Maybe not. The guy's got potential. That's the problem. Oh, and then there's this other demon. Oh, he's on. I'll show you his face, actually. I'll show you his pathetic little face. It calls itself Ambassador for Christ. And this guy, when I correctly pointed out to him that there was no such thing as a Christian nation. Where's he on my phone? He's a prick. He's a total and utter prick. Where is he? He's such a prick, I can't even find him. And it calls itself Ambassador for Christ. I'm not going to dox his number. I mean, look at him. Look at him. Look at the po-faced. Look at him. Apparently he was going to be at Speaker's Corner. He said, I'm going to pray for you, brother. No, thanks. I pray to Jesus, and Jesus basically disciplines me. But this guy, when confronted with the truth that there's no such thing as a Christian nation, when I was giving constructive things that need to be done at the park against the, extreme Muslims that are down there. And that's one final thing. Any Muslim down at that park is a human being created in the image and likeness of God. and I will treat them with respect. If they treat me with respect, I treat them with respect. That's the way it goes. Now, I've had the last one, I had a bit of a, I forget the name, yeah, Mansour. It got a bit, but that was because he was like calling me a Zionist and, blah, blah, blah. So, I would always go and talk to him respectfully. People don't understand the apology. The apology was because basically Amy said it, I repeated it. So I said, in future, I will not use insulting words towards your prophet. That's all I said. I said, in future, I will just ask questions about your Quran and Hadith. Didn't say anything else. That is not an apology which compromises my position. It's not like I said just the Shahada or something. I mean, that would have been a problem. That would have been a violation of my personal faith. But there are ways forward for Britain. But having a bunch of extremists rock up in London on the 13th. I mean, if I was, I'm not back then. Shame. And plus, by then, I'll be slightly adjusting my sleep pattern to align with Adelaide time. Do like my cricket. And, the thing about cricket is that it's a nice, relaxing thing. You can get your housework done. You can get I've got a bit done. And it's a nice, gentle game. We are not a country of extremists. We're a country of people who go, hey, this is the problem. Let's work it out. I think that's where we're at. I think on balance, and I think our only choice at the next election would be to vote reform. End of broadcast. Adios. Thank you for watching. This is Laser, your offshore news station.